Hi, very good evening to you. I'm Lisa Lord with the Thursday, August 18th edition of the CBC Evening News and our top story. Well, it's day 3 of the budget debate in Parliament, and today Health Minister John Boyce strongly defended the proposed National Social Responsibility Levy, stressing that the Queen Elizabeth Hospital would perform better because of it.
The monies which we expect from this measure, this 2% levy, will be carefully utilized to make sure that we keep our Queen Elizabeth Hospital, our flagship institution, in condition that it can deliver quality service to Barbados. That we continue in our primary healthcare system, in our polyclinics, and to ensure that that intervention is available for the public of Barbados in a way that allows them to be assured of maintaining or even increasing that life expectancy referred to.
And based on the island's projected life expectancy, the cost of healthcare will continue to climb. It's on this basis that St. John MP Mara Thompson supports the imposition of a social responsibility levy.
The Minister of Education has delivered for Barbados. Yes. You can take a trip to St. John, Mr. Speaker, the Lodge School. Beautiful campus, totally redone, a new Lodge School. Blackburn and Wallop Primary, Maria Holder Nurseries, expansion at Parkinson and at the Polytechnic.
Well, Ms. Thompson also dismissed the opposition's theory that even though officials say Cropover was successful, people were not spending money. The St. John MP says the sold-out events and record numbers on the road on Kadooment Day and 4-day morning are just some of the examples that the opposition is wrong. Well, Commerce Minister Donville Innes says the soon-to-be-started Hyatt project has received all the necessary town and country planning permission. The project has come under scrutiny from several quarters within the past several weeks. However, Mr. Innes says no other physical development project in Barbados has undergone as many studies as the Hyatt, including a heritage impact study.
The Hyatt project also was subject to an environmental impact assessment, impact study. That was done too as well. A traffic study was done. A geotechnical survey was done. A marine survey was done. And a geophysical survey was done. 6 studies were done. You really believe that the state will be so irresponsible as to go and grant permission to anyone to construct a project of that size before having the appropriate surveys done? We must have more faith in ourselves.
Meantime, Housing Minister Dennis Kelman says there is no housing shortage on the island.
We have enough building space in Barbados to house everybody, especially in a crisis time. I am told that we have a demand for about 17,000 houses. And the same breath, I am told that we have 15,000 houses unoccupied, which means that we have a deficit of 2,000, according to your calculation. But if you look at the houses that people have in Barbados, and you look at the size of houses that people have, 2 people live in houses that got 7 bedrooms. It means that we have a waste of resources, and we need to find a way to show those persons that a house needs to be more than a home, but it can also be a business, because some of that space can be used to be rented out to other persons and ease the demand on the people of Barbados.
Well, opposition St. Joseph MP Dale Marshall has knocked the 2016 financial statement and budgetary proposals. In his reply to the budget, he says it can be summed up in 3 categories.
The first law
And of course, we apologize for the quality of that extract. Well, a charge that government has not addressed the unemployment situation on the island. And in the eyes of opposition St. George South MP Dwight Sutherland, this is one of the major failings of the 2016 budget. He says policies that speak to duty-free zones and special development areas do nothing to find jobs for Barbadians.
the employment opportunities for the young people who are leaving the university, who are leaving BCC, who are leaving Samuel Jackman Prescott Polytechnic? True. Where are the employment opportunities in these budgetary proposals to address this? Mr. Speaker, why are we not building out the vocational training board capacity and capability? These are things that would attract young people. We are not hearing anything about a Silicon Valley and an IT hub.
Well, Opposition St. George North MP Glenn Clark says the budgetary proposals are nothing new and are actually similar to measures introduced by past administrations.
For the very first time in 8 years, we can see a budget that has some measures of refinancing the debt. Even though we are in a deep hole, a deep hole, so that the measures that you have introduced today, Mr. Speaker, will only get us so far. These measures will only get us so far. But you do not have the time. You do not have the time because, and I will show in this my presentation, that time is of the essence and only the Prime Minister knows when. But most of these measures will not bear fruit.
Mr. Clark adds that some of the measures also reflect past suggestions from Agriculture Minister Dr. David Eswick. Well, Member of Parliament for the City of Bridgetown, Colonel Jeffrey Bostick, says he wants to see more emphasis placed on heritage tourism.
I am saying that I expect in budgets now and going forward that we would see issues relating to heritage tourism that will provide a meaningful policy framework for the restoration of places like the Empire Theatre, not only restoration but operation of the Empire Theatre, Queen's Park, Daphne Joseph Hackett Theatre, the revitalization and resurgence of Baxter's Road, Nelson Street, Pelican Village and areas of that nature. Those are critical to a heritage site, a World Heritage Site and a heritage economy, heritage tourism.
Stay with us, we'll have more news in just a moment.
Don't let your data experience slow you down. Step up to Digicel, Barbados' fastest 4G network, more than twice as fast as the slow network. Get more with Digicel. Digicel, the fastest 4G network in Barbados. Dial *153# to sign up to Digicel today.
When we use our passion to create something special, we cherish the experience that brings the result. It isn't always smooth sailing, but that's the beauty of it. Because through experience and the help of knowledgeable partners, we learn and grow together. And we dream bolder dreams for the future. Confident that your passion and our expertise will bring an ever bright tomorrow. ICBL, always there when you need us most.
The Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation is seeking to recruit a suitably qualified person to fill the position of Reporter Driver 1. The successful candidate will be assigned to the News and Current Affairs and Sports departments. A Reporter Driver 1 will be responsible for gathering and analyzing information for the production of news stories and meeting daily deadlines in a fast-paced work environment, and will be required to drive to and from assignments. Suitable candidates should hold an associate's degree in mass communication, broadcast journalism or related field, and be computer literate. For full details on duties, responsibilities, and competencies, go to our website at www.cbc cbc.bb. If you meet the job requirements, please submit your application along with curriculum vitae by August 24, 2016 via mail to the Human Resources Manager, Caribbean Broadcasting Corporation, P.O. Box 900, Bridgetown, or via email to hrdepartment@cbc.bb.
The public is crying out for better services from doctors and nurses. This is according to a recent survey conducted by the Queen Elizabeth Hospital. Chief Executive Officer Dr. Dexter James made the announcement at a public lecture series held at the University of the West Indies Cave Hill campus. He says the Accident and Emergency Department receives about 40,000 visits every year, but believes not every case is an emergency.
One of the challenges is that almost 69% of the patients who present to the emergency room are for non-urgent care, some requiring some amount of treatment, mainly diagnostics, but some really don't need to be in that setting for care. And these are the patients that give the hospital negative goodwill. They're the ones who spend 8 and 10 hours for non-urgent care, and therefore it is an area of systemic inefficiency that we need to address.
On another issue, Dr. James says there are approximately 275 patients on dialysis, and this is very costly.
This is the new normal that is going to drive our healthcare costs if we don't find a model of mobilizing, collecting it, pooling it, and allocating those resources to various providers. So those 184, 36, and 55 patients consume about $15 million of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital budget, or 10% of the budget. Based on the current growth rate, this figure will move from $15 million to almost $25–30 million. And assume no indexation for inflation and change in population pathology, in 5 years' time, that $30 million would have reflected almost 1/3 of the Queen Elizabeth Hospital budget.
Well, Minister of Industry, International Business, Commerce and Small Business Development Donville Innes wants the Barbados brand to be synonymous with high quality. Mr. Innes was delivering opening remarks at a seminar workshop on entrepreneurship, a collaboration between the Permanent Secretariat of Latin American and Caribbean Economic System and the Ministry of Industry. He says local businesses must focus on the quality and standard of the services and the products that they provide.
Here in Barbados, we intend to build and be steadfast with the Barbados brand. It must be a brand that is high quality and high value. People, when they hear something made in Barbados, or certainly the wider region, they must certainly associate such with high quality.
He also reiterated the need for local entrepreneurs to expand their visions to include export markets.
We certainly recognize, as we seek to develop a cadre of entrepreneurs in the region, and certainly in Barbados, that a lot of what we produce, whether it be goods or services, cannot be just for the domestic market. And that's the point we keep having to stress to entrepreneurs. Your market space cannot be just a geographical space within which you exist on a 24/7 basis. You must start to see the wider region and certainly the world as your oyster.
More and more young people are expressing an interest in agriculture, and that's according to Parliamentary Secretary in the Ministry of Education, Senator Harry Husbands. He was speaking at a youth farm program being held at the Home Agriculture Station in St. Philip. This year, 25 students participated in that program. At the end of it, they will receive national vocational qualifications in their respective areas of agriculture.
One of the major complaints in the educational system is that too many young people leave school without a formal certification. This program allows many of our young people, certainly ones who participated in it this year and those who have done previously, to leave school with important qualification and certification. And the significant thing about the qualification that most of them will acquire at the end of this program, it is that it is Caribbean-wide and it gives a skill.
And students also spoke about their experience.
My experience here was hardworking, tiring, and educational.
I come out to inspect the plants, the lettuce was destroyed. So I get to plant more lettuce. So we started planting more lettuce. And when we was planting the lettuce, basically we enjoyed ourselves though, but it was actually a learning experience.
Well, more and more women are coming forward to get tested for below-the-belt cancers. But gynecologist Dr. Vikash Chakrani says the message of testing is still relevant as these types of cancers still kill too many Barbadian women. Dr. Chakrani was speaking at the launch of this year's Sagicor Globathon Walk and Run to End Gynecological Cancers at the UWI Usain Bolt Sports Complex.
The message of Globathon is dedicated to increasing awareness about these gynecological cancers, including cancer of the ovary, uterus, cervix, vagina, and vulva. These cancers, when added together, the number of deaths they cause per annum is of the same magnitude, if not more, that is attributed to the #1 cancer for women in Barbados.
Vice President of Group Insurance at Sagicor Life Inc., Patricia Brathwaite-Marshall, says the company is on board as it remains committed to women and their families.
We want women to understand the risk of gynecological cancers. We want women to pay attention to their bodies and talk to their doctors. We want more women to get regular checkups. Sagicor is committed to making a difference in the communities in which it operates, and we know that next month's Globathon 5K will make a world of difference.
Well, the Kiwanis Club of Barbados South is lending a helping hand. They are making sure several young students are ready for the new term with their back-to-school supplies initiative. Shoppers at Cape Shepherd Bridgetown can make monetary donations or purchase selected items, including uniforms and books for children in need. Kiwanis member Cassandra Culpepper says the response is promising and encouraged people to contribute.
We're asking you to come out and support the cause. We need to have the children back into school and with their textbooks and their uniforms. So your support will be greatly appreciated.
Ahead, a look at some of the stories from around our region.
Play the new hot ticket, Super Sizzling 7s, and